The morning I realized my mother-in-law had been keeping a file on me, I was standing barefoot in her kitchen, holding my 10-month-old daughter on my hip, pretending not to notice that the cabinet above the fridge was locked. Locked. Who locks a kitchen cabinet? I'm Donna Roswell. I was 31 at the time, a registered nurse, a mom to a baby girl named Lily, and, though I didn't have the language for it yet, slowly being erased inside someone else's house. If you've ever had that prickly feeling that something isn't right, but you can't quite prove it, stay with me, because what happened in that courthouse months later, it didn't just silence a room, it rearranged my entire life. I didn't grow up weak. My dad, Ray Caldwell, was the county sheriff. He raised my brother Tyler and me after my mom passed when I was 14. Grief made our house quiet, but it also made me capable. I learned early how to handle responsibility. Bills, meals, homework, oil changes. If it needed doing, I did it. I became the reliable one, the calm one, the one who fixed things. That's probably why I missed the signs with Lorraine Roberts. Lorraine was my husband Anthony's mother, 60 years old, always perfectly pressed, always smelling faintly of lemon disinfectant. The kind of woman who would correct your grammar mid-sentence and smile while doing it. When Anthony and I married, he suggested we stay with her, just for a few months, to save for a house. It sounded practical. Smart, even. I had spreadsheets. I had a plan. What I didn't have was an understanding of how control can look like kindness. The first week we moved in, Lorraine insisted on doing our laundry. "You work so hard, Donna," she'd say, folding my scrubs into neat little rectangles. "Let me take care of you." Then my car keys disappeared. "Oh, honey," she said lightly when I asked. "I moved them. Anthony said he'd drive you for now. It's easier that way. Easier." It's funny how that word can shrink your world. Anthony didn't see it. Or maybe he didn't want to. When I mentioned feeling uncomfortable, he'd sigh. "Mom just likes things a certain way. Don't take it personally." I told myself I was overreacting. I'm a nurse, for heaven's sake. I assess evidence. I don't jump to conclusions. Then I got pregnant. Lorraine's attentiveness intensified. She came to appointments uninvited. She rearranged the nursery I'd set up in our upstairs bedroom. She told church friends I was struggling with hormones. I wasn't struggling. I was tired. There's a difference. When Lily was born, something shifted. I expected to feel joy, and I did, but I also felt watched, evaluated. Lorraine kept a feeding log taped to the fridge. She corrected how I held my daughter. She'd say things like, "You're sure you're up for this, sweetheart?" in front of other people. One afternoon, I overheard her on the phone in the study. "I'm just concerned," she was saying. "Donna hasn't been herself. I don't think she's bonding properly." My chest went cold. That night, I checked my phone battery usage. There was an unfamiliar app running constantly, tracking location. I didn't confront her. I didn't cry. I did what I've always done. I started documenting. I bought a plain spiral notebook from the grocery store. I kept it inside the lining of Lily's diaper bag, because no one ever digs through a diaper bag thoroughly, trust me. Every incident went in. Dates, times, exact words, witnesses, my responses. June 14th, 3:45 p.m. Lorraine stated, "If anything happens to that baby, it will be on your conscience." July 2nd. Observed email sent from my account to hospital HR resigning from position. I did not author this email. Yes, she accessed my email through Anthony's laptop, and he said nothing. That was the moment something inside me hardened. Not rage, not panic, resolve. Then came the day I found the folder. Lorraine had left for Bible study. Anthony was at work. I was looking for Lily's insurance card in the study desk. Yes, the locked one. And I found the key taped under the desk lip. People hide things in obvious places when they assume you won't look. Inside that drawer was a manila folder labeled Lily, Safeguard. I can still feel the way my pulse thudded in my ears as I opened it. There were printed emails, photos of me looking exhausted, notes from church members expressing concern, and at the bottom, a drafted petition for temporary custody, citing maternal instability, signed by Dr. Mercer. I laughed, not because it was funny, because I'd worked with Dr. Mercer during hospital rotations. He was a family physician. He had no psychiatric specialization, no authority to diagnose postpartum anything. They were building a case against me, and here's the part no one expects. I didn't confront her. I didn't storm out. I didn't scream. I took photos of every page with an old digital camera I found in a drawer. No cloud backups, no tracking. Then I put everything back exactly as it was. You know that moment when fear becomes clarity? When the fog lifts and you see the battlefield? That was mine. I called my dad the next morning from the pediatrician's office restroom. My voice was steady. "Dad," I said, "I need help." He didn't ask questions. He said, "I'll be there." That weekend, I left with Lily while Lorraine was grocery shopping. I didn't take much. Just clothes, documents, the notebook. Anthony blocked the doorway when I tried to walk out. He didn't hit me, but he grabbed my arm hard enough to leave bruises. I looked him straight in the eyes and said, "Move." He did. Dad was waiting at the end of the gravel road in his truck. When he saw the bruise blooming on my arm, his jaw tightened, but he didn't explode. He just said, "We'll handle this the right way." And we did. I met with Margaret Hale, a legal aid attorney. When I handed her my notebook, she raised her eyebrows. "Most people come in with stories," she said. "You came with evidence. We filed first. Emergency protective order. Temporary custody petition. Complaint against Dr. Mercer for operating outside scope. When Lorraine found out, she filed her petition the same day. So the hearing was combined. Let me tell you something about courtrooms. They smell like paper and old carpet and nerves. Lorraine wore pearls. Anthony wore a stiff suit. Belle, his sister, sat behind them with her phone. I wore navy scrubs. Because that's who I am. When I took the stand, my hands didn't shake. I spoke the way I chart patient notes. On July 2nd, at approximately 9:14 a.m., an email resignation was sent from my account without my authorization. I watched the judge's expression change as I presented documentation, dates, screenshots, medical scope of practice citations, photographs of the custody petition drafted before any alleged incident. Then Margaret introduced the tracking app evidence. Belle's face drained of color. When Lorraine finally stood up and accused me of being manipulative, her voice cracked. She lost composure. I didn't. The judge denied her petition, granted mine, temporary sole custody, protective order, immediate return of my vehicle and personal property. Silence filled that courtroom in a way I'll never forget. Outside, Anthony tried to apologize. "I didn't think she'd go that far," he said. I looked at him and said, "You never thought I'd go this far either." Lily is 4 now. We live in a small house with yellow shutters and a key hook by the front door. I hang my own car keys there every night. Lorraine hasn't contacted me in 2 years. The protective order was extended. Dr. Mercer received disciplinary action from the medical board. Anthony completed court-mandated counseling. We divorced quietly. People ask me how I stayed so calm. Here's the truth. Calm isn't weakness. It's preparation. When someone tries to rewrite your story, you don't scream louder. You document better. If you're watching this and something feels off in your life, if someone is isolating you, minimizing you, helping you into silence, please listen to that instinct. Keep records. Tell someone safe. You are not crazy. You are not ungrateful. You are allowed to own your own keys. Thank you for sitting with me through this. If this story resonated, subscribe to Her Untold Revenge. Share this with someone who needs to remember their strength. And tell me in the comments, have you ever had to prove the truth when no one believed you? I'll see you in the next one.